Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2018. Just you wait. How's the drama phone? This is Peter speaking. Detective Daddy. Yes, this is Detective Daddy. Yes, I'm ready to bust some drama, mama. So, if you didn't know, I'm the drama police. And like every good investigator, when you're busting some police, you need to have a good assistant with you. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. So right here is my assistant. Assistant Pepe Lupe in his new fedora that he only likes to wear when he is doing detectiving. We are going to solve the drama mama of Tana Mongeau and Imari. Aren't we, Lupe Pepe? Pepe. He says, I'm a child star. Why am I wearing this foolish hat? So anyway, let's get right into this video. Don't you love this so much? Let's put it right back here. I'm the drama police now. Okay, so here's how it was. You guys, it's so confusing. Whoo, this YouTube career of mine, I just can't even keep up with it. So, I used to be the Andy Cohen, sometimes the Anderson Cooper, hardly ever the Keanu Reeves, lots of times the Janis Joplin of YouTube. And then I went back to being the Andy Cohen because he's so cute. I mean, like, why wouldn't you want to be? But then everybody said I looked like Anderson Cooper, and I was like, well, of course I'd rather be the Anderson Cooper, except for that I would love to hang out with those housewives. So maybe be the Andy Cohen again. But then Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen became best friends. Do you think that's all it was? I don't. I think they, you know. So anyway, and then I was like the Lita Ford, kiss me deadly. So then I was like Lita Ford, Stevie Nicks. I love Stevie Nicks, but I mean, those are big shoes to fill, you know what I'm saying? And so then I was back to being the Janis Joplin. But now, if you don't know what you don't know is a lot, I think not, like Janis Joplin. Everybody's gonna say this is the longest intro in the world, and the video starts at 7 minutes and 50 seconds. Listen, if you timestamp videos, move on, okay? This video is not for you, but you're gonna miss out on all the really good drama because I'm about to tell you about it anyway. So anyway, I used to be just a drama channel. Well, before I was a drama channel, I just did commentary, and I was like, I'm not a drama channel, I'm not a drama channel. And then I was like, I guess I am a drama channel. Now I love being a drama channel. And then James Charles said that we were drama account executives. Oh! So then I was the drama account executive of the East Coast, sometimes New York, maybe Canada. But you know, Canada got taken by Here for the Tea. So anyway, so now I'm like Caribbean, East Coast, and Europe. So anyway, let's get right into this video, shall we? Because I'm the drama police now. Oh, my camera. So anyway, the hills are alive with the sound of music. So anyway, if you don't know what you don't know is a lot, yes, Tana Mongeau and Imari are friends again. I mean, why wouldn't they be, right? This hat is so distracting. Why wouldn't they be friends again? So let's get right into this. What had happened was, because you guys want to know all the drama, I love the drama phone so much. The drama phone has been ringing like crazy. Listen, people are like going nuts. They're like, House of Drama, scam-a-lama, ding-dang, ding-dang, doo. Yes, this is the Tana Mongeau video. I know. Okay, bye, Judy. So anyway, that was Judy Smith. Judy Smith's been calling me. I mean, my drama phone has been going off like crazy. People are like, make this video about Tana Mongeau. This is a true story. Like, people always ask me to make Tana Mongeau videos. And I think the misconception is that I really don't like Tana Mongeau. I have said in videos that I think she's problematic, and we're gonna talk about that in just a second, and that I think her friends are problematic, but I don't dislike the gal, okay? I give her total, you know, like, leverage to grow up on camera and show us her growth and have learning curves to all this, and maybe kind of think through her gig a little bit, and that's what I've always said about her, but I don't dislike her a lot, or at all, and in fact, you know, Elijah Daniel kind of reminds me of myself a little bit back in the day. So, I mean, he's very creative, and I just think he could be using it for other things. And, you know, let me just say 2 cents about that first, because I'm going to give Tana some props first about this video where, have you guys seen the video where she does a Q&A with Imari? Well, we're going to get to the video in a second, but the beginning of the video is rather interesting to me, and I will tell you why in just a second. But before we get to all of that, you know, like, I think it's an interesting concept when people come to my videos and they see me saying that, you know, for like 18 to 25, these people should be setting a good role model for the world, right? And, you know, I've gotten a lot of like positive commentary on that. People are like, thank you, you know, like I try to make good choices and I'm their age, and a lot of parents have said that as well. And I've kind of criticized the parents that take their kids to these, you know, what do you call it, tours, which I do not understand for me that they're not doing research, because after watching this video, I'm like, is this what a Tana Mongeau tour is? I mean, just her and her friends sitting around throwing the C word out and talking about how drunk they get and taking Xanax all the time, because I would not want my 12-year-old child at that, right? And I am a firm believer that it's the parent's responsibility to raise their child. That being said, I also believe in the concept that it takes a village to raise a child. Thank you. So, you know, it's not just one person's responsibility anymore, and I think that parents have a really hard time, and having worked with a lot of parents through the years, you know, on deciphering what is positive and what is negative, you know, messages that are going into their child's brains. So I think it really comes down to, who do you want to be as a human being? What are you putting out into the world? What message are you putting about yourself out into the world? So my issue always isn't with Tana being problematic necessarily to the world. It's like, sweetie, why is this the message you're choosing to send to the world, if that makes sense? And just to use two examples, I think, of women on a huge level like that, I looked it up, and, you know, Lady Gaga, when she went on her first world tour, was 23 years old. So she wasn't much older than Tana Mongeau. And Britney Spears, when she went on her first world tour, was 18 years old. If you don't believe me, look it up. I just did. And, you know, I don't remember Britney Spears or Lady Gaga. Now, they've gotten into some things, but not really to this level where they're constantly talking about partying and doing drugs and illicit sex and all this kind of stuff. You know, and I think they probably had a lot of adults around them that were saying, you know, like, here's, what are you presenting to the world? What are you putting out there? And I think at any moment we need to ask ourselves that on a daily basis. What are we doing to contribute positively to the world, and what are we putting out there into the world, okay? For any of us out there that have heard somebody say, like she does all the time, I love you so much, I love you, after a while, it kind of becomes on the same level of somebody saying, I'm sorry. When somebody says, I'm sorry to you over and over and over again, yet they never change their behaviors, how much does the word I'm sorry mean? When somebody says to you, I love you so much, I love you so much, over time, how much does that really mean? It doesn't really mean anything. I think to care a lot about the people that are watching your videos and to display that on your videos really would show how much you truly do care about them, because you wouldn't want people making the same mistakes as you. So getting into that, I do want to show her video. Now, her new video is called, are we ready? Are you ready? We're back together. And of course I went to this because I was like, is she back together with Summer and all this kind of stuff? And it's interesting because in this Q&A, they say something about like, what YouTuber would you like to smash? And, you know, like, she says in there, Ken, and I was like, isn't that the dude that you were, I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Isn't that the dude that you were giving the lap dance to, that you said that you guys were just friends and it didn't mean anything? And that's why you and Summer supposedly broke up, but now that's who you want to smash? But anyway, before we get into this, she puts like a prelude to the video, which I thought was done very authentically, and it was probably the most genuine I've seen Tana ever. And I'm not going to show you the whole thing. I want you guys to go watch it. She talks about the shooting in Las Vegas, and she talks about how it really affected her personally because she's from Las Vegas. And you know, the way that she describes it is interesting to me, because I can remember when 9/11 happened, and my mom talked to me about, like, and I never really understood it, except when I heard it from her point of view. She said, you know, when Vietnam was going on, we saw that on the televisions, but it wasn't like where we were. 9/11 is here. It's like, it feels personal. It feels right here, right now. And she was like, she said we could really distance ourselves from what was going on in other parts of the world, but when it's brought to your doorstep, it feels completely different. And that's kind of what Tana says about Las Vegas and how much she cares about the city that she's from. And then she goes in there and she talks a lot about raising money. She picked a specific person, which I thought was really cool what she did. I props to her, like, for doing something positive with her platform. And let's just take a look at this for a second, shall we? So I do have receipts, Whitney. So here's the receipts. Are you ready? If I can. Don't you hate when your phone won't turn sideways?
I want to use my voice, I want to use my platform to do good, to help someone, to help this, to help my city, to give back to the city that has given me everything with my voice. That's why I have this platform, that's why I have these followers. And so for the last...
So it's interesting to me, after countless videos that I've done, where I've said, please use your platform for something positive, Tana does, okay? So thank you, Tana, for using your platform and using the numbers that you have for doing some really, like, putting something positive out there in the world. I think that's fantastic. Thank you so much. And, you know, like in this discussion of who we are at 18 years old and what are we putting out there into the world, I don't know that at 18 years old I would have put a really great, I mean, in her defense, I don't know that I would have put, you know, this really wise statement out there in the world. But then again, maybe I didn't need to be showing my ass on YouTube if that was the case. You know what I mean? Or maybe I needed to pull back and edit. We all need to edit all the time. I mean, even I do. We all do, you know? So anyway, I went in and I watched this video, and like the first 6 or 7 minutes is all about Las Vegas, and it's very genuine and authentic. Well, then it jumps into this Q&A with her and Imari, and she's like, oh, we're back together. They never really address the issue. This is what I found was interesting about the whole video. They never really address why they are friends again, okay? But Imari brings up like 3 times getting sent home from the tour, and there's a lot of issue you can tell over this word sent, and maybe a little bit of resentment on his part. I don't know. And she's like, oh, here we go again, right? And I'm like sitting here and I'm watching this and I'm like, well, if you have such an issue with it, why are you back with her again? And I mean, is she your cash cow? What's going on here? And there's this one part where she says something that, like, one of the questions that they get is, have Tana ever paid you to do something you didn't want to do, or something like that? And she goes, no, and in fact, he won't. One time I asked him to, like, I think she said rub my back or rub my arm or something, and I said I would pay his whole car payment for him, and he refused to do it. Girl, now, that's not how friends were together. Will you rub my hand and I'll pay you $400 for car payment? No, maybe. Like, that's a weird friendship, I think, okay? And I think what's weird about it is that it's very much who has the power in the relationship. And I think for any of us that have grown up or a little bit older and have some life experience, you know, all of us have that one friend that has a shit ton of money, and they're like, oh, you know, come to Missouri with me, and, you know, I'll pay for the whole trip. And you're like, okay, and like you do it like once maybe, and then you're like really uncomfortable with it, because it's like you can tell that the friendship is really one-sided. And then a lot of times those friends will say things like, well, I've done all these really nice things for you, and there can be no limits or boundaries with that friendship. So, you know, props to Imari for setting limits and boundaries, but baby, if you want to pay my car payment, it's coming up. So just call me, Tana. But anyway, so I went in and I watched the rest of this video, and what was really interesting to me is she said the video was pre-recorded, and then she put this like part to it about Las Vegas first, and she's very, very genuine and authentic, and then it goes into this question and answer, and you know, okay, first of all, I watched it and I was like, okay, I'm really impressed. Like, thank you, Tana. Props to you. I'm very, very impressed. And then it goes into this Q&A, which I don't believe should have ever been uploaded after that video. And I know people might disagree with me. As of right now, the video has like 28,000 likes and 2,000 dislikes, okay? But on the heels of what she said about Las Vegas, which was so genuine and authentic, and, you know, I mean, she said, I don't really know what to do about how to raise money, like do a GoFundMe and whatever, and there's an ad on the video. I said, well, I thought to myself, well, girl, why don't you just not post an ad on the video, or the money that you raise, put it to the video? I mean, whatever. Like, you can't write a check for $500, and maybe she did. I don't know, okay? But that's not the point. The point is that she goes in and she does this Q&A afterwards, which really takes away from what she said at the beginning of the video. She should have just left it at that, because it made it 2 separate videos, I think, because what she does is she goes in, and then it's her and Imari sitting around like 2 18-year-olds, which, hey, I was like watching this, I was like, I understand why young kids like this, because this is like what young kids do. They sit around, they talk about, you know, like a lot of young kids. I'm making a huge generalization, but kids that like Tana, this is why they like her, okay? Because it's like her, like, she's there with her, you know, good Judy, and they're sitting there and they're like, oh, that one time, remember that one time that I was in New York? She's like, oh, I've been drinking so much lately, and I need to not drink as much lately. And they talk about drinking and all this kind of stuff. She's throwing the C word around. Listen, I got a question to ask here, okay? And I know I'm stepping on some of my friends' toes out there, so please educate me in the comment section below, and don't use this word when you do it. But my mother taught me, you don't use that word, the C word, women or men. And I'm really confused as to why we feel so liberated to use that word in 2017. I don't understand that, right? Like, there's a lot of words we can use to describe somebody, but why do we need to use that word? Like, I don't understand that. That's a pretty harsh word as far as I'm concerned. So why are we just throwing that around flippantly? And I'll be really honest with you, and a lot of people will hate that I say this, okay? When I hear that word come out of a woman's mouth, especially, when I hear that word come out of a man's mouth, I think you have no respect for women. When I hear that word come out of a woman's mouth, I'm just like, what? Like, I don't get that. Like, I don't, right? Not that I haven't heard some of my finest and closest friends say it, and they will defend it and say, well, she is one, and she deserves to be said. I'm just like, well, I'm just telling you what my mama taught me, okay? I don't understand all that. But then they go in this video about how fucked up they were and what, the tour and all this kind of stuff. What tour? What's he doing? I went and watched his channel. I mean, he seems like a nice guy, don't get me wrong. He seems real sweet and all that kind of stuff. But I went and watched this video of his when he was like in Topeka, and it was like, I mean, people say I'm annoying. Oh my Lord, okay? And I'm like, well, first of all, what killed me was he has like less than 70,000 subscribers or something, which is a good amount of subscribers for people that work their ass off on YouTube. But like, I'm watching this and I'm thinking, did he get the majority of his subscribers off of Tana? Because if he did, she's got 2+ million subscribers. Why doesn't he have a hell lot of more subscribers than this? And I'm watching this video and he's like, well, if you're, you're in Tacoma when you see a red Ram 1500, you're in Tacoma when this, you're in, I'm like, kill a beast already. What is it with this? I was like, and then they go out to eat sushi and I thought, to be honest, and you guys are about to shit yourselves when I say this, okay? The only interesting part of this whole video of Imari's vlog was when Tana was in it. I was like, where's Tana? And I'm thinking, is everybody watching Imari for Tana? Because like, that was what was interesting to me. But I will say, I've only watched one video of his, so maybe I need to watch more. And he seems like a real nice kid. He said he's in college and all this kind of stuff, I don't know. I just was like, why? Okay, first of all, they never address why they're friends again. Like, what happened? Did y'all have a sit down? Like, that would have been a really great message. Like, instead, to sit down and say, well, we're back together, we're friends again. Instead of us talking about how drunk we get and all this kind of stuff, let's explain what happened. We had a fight on the tour. You don't even have to talk about that. Let's sit down and talk about it, because a lot of friends your age have blowout fights and y'all don't become friends again. Listen, I give people 3 times. 3 strikes, you're out, baby, okay? So I don't know how many strikes that Miss Tana's had with Imari, but listen, you could have explained that and said, friendships are important. Friends are like our chosen family, and this is what happened, and this is what we did, and this is what we're doing going forward, because our friendship to each other is really, really important. And you can tell it is watching the video. You can tell that they're so united as friends, and that's a cool thing. So, I just would like to know what had happened between them, and maybe tone down the problematic behavior a little bit. We don't need to know about all that. Go have your fun. We don't need to know about it in every fucking video. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.